Took a bit, but here we are, the last Infamous game, a standalone DLC to Second Son that I had absolutely no experience with. No gameplay videos, no reviews, no mentions of it whatsoever, and as such it turned out not being anything of what I was expecting. With that being said, I think it's time to jump right into my review of Infamous First Light. You play as Fetch, the first conduit Delsin befriends in Second Son. This is a prequel story of how she got caught by the D.U.P and how she killed her brother. This game truly is a no-fluff Infamous. I was expecting a Festival of Blood kind of deal where they play around with different concepts or mechanics, but no, not at all. First Light is more of Second Son, just shorter and in some aspects much better. The plot was a step up with proper pacing and some character development along the way. Fetch is just a more fleshed out character, which immediately makes her more interesting than Delsin. The combat is similar to Second Son, but it's even smoother and faster than before. Plus, they made Fetch so overpowered that even playing on hard is mostly a breeze, making this a great power fantasy game. This time, your upgrades are tied to challenges and collecting lumens, which replace blast shards. There's no more having to stop to absorb shards, lumens are just on the open and touching them is enough, making collecting them way more fun as it doesn't disrupt the flow of movement. Plus, with the new speed boosters around the map, movement has never felt so great. Upgrades are pretty easy to get, there are plenty of easy challenges and simple to obtain lumens. It's not quite like Second Son, where it feels necessary to upgrade to at least have a better mobility, but some of them still feel like must-haves for extra fun time. The powers are very similar to Delsin's Neon, so there ain't much to add on that regard. Yeah, there are differences, but if you like Neon in Second Son, you will like it here. Luckily, that was my go-to there, and it's even better here. Even though this is a shorter experience, you still have side activities. Racing, in which you collect runaway lumens, graffiti, which was adapted to fit Fetch's powers, and shooting hidden drones. All of these are perfectly fine, no side activity annoyed me. They made sense with the setting and didn't overstay their welcome. What did feel too drawn out were the tutorials, and how hand-holdy the game was. Maybe it was the setting itself, as some do make sense with the plot, but damn, the beginning just felt too filled with tutorials and it was a bit annoying. The big addition to this game are the arenas, where you are pitched against hordes of enemies until you lose. Basically the usual survival mode of plenty of games. These were actually pretty fun since the game is so enjoyable to just play. This, in my opinion, is a genius idea that should have been added long ago to the franchise. You can play as Delsin or Fetch, and there are 3 different arenas. They have changes, but honestly I can't be bothered to name them, so just know they're different. On these arenas you will fight 2 types of enemies, D.U.P of various forms and demons, which are created by Eugene, the other conduit from Second Son. I think that's most of the ramblings I wanted to do for this one, so let's wrap this up. Infamous First Light was not aiming to reinvent the franchise, it was aiming to be a more focused, condensed version of Second Son, and I think it absolutely succeeds in that. In fact, I would argue that this might be a better game than Second Son. The story is better, the characters are better written, and even though the runtime is short, it doesn't feel rushed like its big brother. The music is good. The movement is great, it succeeds at the superpower fantasy very well, making you feel capable to destroy anything in your path. And even though there is no karma system or multiple endings, the arena and online leaderboards of it give the game some replayability by playing to its strongest suit, the combat and movement. I had lots of fun with First Light, to the point where I ended up platinuming it even though I wasn't going to. If you are a fan and skipped this one because it was advertised as DLC, I urge you to play it. And I honestly say this because I don't really hear people talk about it at all. Which is a damn shame. They really sent the franchise in a high note, and I think it's not a game to ignore. With First Light done, that's all Infamous games played and reviewed. If you watched all of them, thank you so much, and sorry for the extremely long time between them. It's hard to keep motivation to do anything these days. If you didn't really watch the previous videos, I invite you to check them out. They will be in the description below. Next video is already being worked on, and it will hopefully not be 6 months away. Thank you so much for watching, like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite Infamous game is in the comments. See you next time.